boxes. It's Elmo time. We're going to go ahead and welcome you to Art Stars. Alright, this is Miss Rankin, and we are working on the 7 elements of art. And this week, what we're going to incorporate is line, which this is an example of line. I'm going to see if I can darken this up just a little bit so you guys can see a little bit better. So we've done line. We've worked on shape, and we're going to be using form today, and form is a 3-dimensional volume or mass or shape. An example of form that I have done in the past is creating a roundness or a shape of an egg. You can use anything like a sphere, and some of my art students have done this in the past, so we're going to do something a little bit different. And we're also going to incorporate value. Value is when you go from dark to light, and this egg here is using one of my favorites, which is my sketchy pencil, which is a Prismacolor Ebony. It is actually, in my opinion, one of the best tools to use. And we're going to be working with value from light to dark. So what we're going to be doing today is, a lot of people call it plein air, which is outside drawing. So we're going to be drawing from nature. And so the first thing you have to do is go find something. It could be a leaf, it could be a branch off of a tree, it could be anything outside. Also, like, I hate to say this, but deceased insects work really well, or anything that you might find, mushrooms, something that is, has a little bit of beauty in it. So we're going to go ahead and start with this. We grab some paper. Email today. A lot of times when I ask students to draw from nature, I'm going to back this up a little bit so you guys can see. A lot of times when I ask students to draw from nature, they just don't really look at what I'm asking. So you don't just want to draw a leaf. You want to draw this particular leaf. So it's really important, and for time's sake, I'm just going to draw this here. But if I ask you to draw a leaf, and you just draw this, and then you're done, I don't know if you guys can even see what I did, but I did a real sloppy version of not really looking at what I'm drawing. So what you want to do is you want to look at it in a scientific way and try to capture the essence or the look of this particular leaf. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of, from above it, kind of get a general shape. And remember, when you sketch, you use the side of your pencil. And I'm using just a normal Dollar Tree Papermate pencil here. Nothing fancy smancy. And I am just kind of looking at the shape or the outline edge of this leaf. Alright, so obviously, let me darken this up a little bit so you guys can see it for starters. This is a real light sketch, and the thing about sketching is it is supposed to be done very lightly. And I'm really trying to focus on exactly what this leaf looks like. So I'm taking a moment to get every line, every vein in this leaf, and I'm trying to draw quickly. So if I were to do this study correctly, like what I'm asking you guys to do, I would really want you to really just look at how every vein is different, and every aspect of this leaf is different. Alright, so we have the first little bit. I'm going to zoom in for a second so you guys maybe can see a little bit better. Now I feel like it's too dark. Just can't win today. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get my Prismacolor pencil, and I'm going to start working with the form. So I'm going to begin drawing now. This is a little bit different than sketching because I am putting down my lines with what we would say intent, which means that I am sure of where I want my marks to be. Whereas when I was sketching a moment ago, I was kind of getting a feel for it. You know, and this is one of those things that you guys, hopefully you will love to do. You can do what we call implied line, which means you have some line that you don't completely fill in and your brain fills it in for you. I think it's pretty obvious. I'm just going to keep this right here and just kind of work with the leaf. Alright, so I am sketching in just a little bit darker some of these areas, and then I'm going to show you how to do your shading, because form is about a rounded shape, and so we have to put gradation or value in here. And remember, value is pretty much from light to dark. So I'm going to begin by the darkest areas in here first. And you really sometimes have to squint your eye to see. I'm using a circular motion. Kind of fill this in a little bit. Then I'm going to kind of do this pretty lightly. Circular motion. And depending on what you choose from nature is honestly how dark you're going to make this, but you're trying to make it look round. And you know, that is one of the perplexing things about art, is you have a two-dimensional or a flat piece of paper, and the artist's goal sometimes, not always, but sometimes when you're definitely working with form, is to make it appear three-dimensional. The way to do that is by adding darker and lighter areas and highlights to make it appear rounded or to have a shape. Alright, so again, I'm using a circular motion like this with my pencil, building it up slowly. And there's going to be some blending in this, clearly. This is not something that should take you 2 or 3 minutes. I've done this a lot, and this is for a demo. So if I were doing this myself, it would clearly be with more intent and clearly more detail. But for a demo, it's just kind of giving you guys a real fast exercise to use. So what I'm doing is I'm squinting my eye so that I can see the darkest value on my leaf as I work. And remember, when you're working on this project, you could do whatever you like. But we are working form today. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can locate it. So for this, I'm going to use a tortillon. Tortillon is one of my favorite tools. It is just a rolled piece of paper. You can also roll a piece of tissue or whatever else. And the tortillon itself has no pigment, but when you begin to smooth it around or smear it around, it adds shape very easily, volume very easily. You can apply pressure where needed and then lighten it up. But you always do a rounded circular motion. And what this is going to do, and remember, this is all with intent. I'm just not rubbing over the whole surface of this. I'm not just coloring it in. I am first of all looking at where the highlights are on my leaf. And I'm looking the whole time, you guys can't see this, but the whole time my leaf is right here. So I am looking at where the shadows are, smoothing it in with intent, which means direction. I'm not just making it up, but I'm following the guide, which is this leaf that is in nature that I wish to create in the likeness of itself, right? I don't want to just draw anything. I want to draw this particular leaf. So I have to pay very close attention to what it looks like. A lot of it is training your eye to look at what you are drawing, so that you get a likeness. Okay. And then I'm just filling this in. The areas that are light, leaving highlights in there. And then lastly of all, you can go back in and you can erase certain areas if needed where you have highlight areas, okay? And then around the edge, if I wanted to clean this guy up a little bit, I could. Okay, so again, this is dealing with form. So this week I want you guys to really consider, it's not zooming out, there we go, really consider looking at what you're drawing. Alright, so not just drawing anything, but drawing this particular leaf, and then you're building it up with shadow by light and dark. If you don't have a tortilla, you can make one out of a piece of rolled paper towel roll, cereal box works really well. Or you can just simply use your finger to get the same smoothing effect. Alright, so again, this is Miss Rinkin. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a great day and happy drawing.